All right,
Yeah,
this is good.
we could do it.
So I'm with my friend Cathy Gibson. I have known Cathy forever.
I know. I'm
We
trying
have
to
great
think
history.
of how many years it's been, but
It's probably goes back to early 2000s-ish, like or mid 2000s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were both new writers at that time.
Yeah.
I was just starting out writing my first book, I think, when I really first met you. I
Yeah.
think, right?
And that
Trying to
was
remember.
actually, it was Debbie really brought us together because you wanted a blog.
Oh,
That's
yes.
back when blogs were in.
Yes.
Yes, that's back when blogs were in.
And I'm still not with all the times of this savviness of technology.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So we connected yesterday and we decided that the world needs more inspiration and more love.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, just more positive energy because there's so much negative everything out there. And I think we're all looking for positive, happy, just everything. It's just everybody wants people to be nice and kind to one another more and just all of that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
But it's so funny because like I said, when was the last time I actually saw you?
It was, okay, so this is really interesting. It was, it had to be 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Over 5 years ago, because it was the Saturday before. That's when you introduced me to your husband and you brought me flowers.
Oh.
And it was the Saturday before I was leaving for Palmyra, New York.
Okay.
And I didn't tell anybody that I was looking into the church.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was really secretive about it.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of us outside of the Connecticut Avon Senior Center.
That's right.
Holding the flowers.
Ah, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
So it's been about 5.5 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
2017.
Wow.
It has been. So,
Yeah.
so Cathy and I both have a background in TV, public relations, and we thought that we were going to start a show. Actually, just last night we discussed this, called Keeping It Real.
Keeping it real.
So we were having a conversation earlier, none of our phones or cameras were going, and we said, we should be recording
this because it's everything that we're trying to convey to others and with each other of what we would like to have the show to be about. Myself, I'm more of a children's author, and I also have a little children's TV show where I talk to puppets about being kind to others and not whispering about others of difference. And so it's so funny how we came up with this because I've always kind of wanted to do something along these lines as far as just communicating with adults too, not just children, because everybody needs to learn to be kind to others. These are the ones here that probably.
So both Cathy and I have been a victim of being bullied, and we have experience. We're gonna share that in brief, like 15-minute episodes about how we can turn a negative experience
into a positive. Well, yeah, because we were both sharing yours was bullied physically and mentally and everything else, where mine was not physical at all. It was just that I think we're all teased, whether you're in junior high or high school. And for myself, I never caved into it, I should say, because I always, in any negative thing that ever happened to my life, I always try to put a spin on it and find a positive. Because everything in life that happens to you, people think all the positive things that happen to you is how you grow and become better, right? But it's the negative things that give you empower and strength to become better.
Absolutely.
And we all have different things to bear.
I always say, and this is something I learned from our friend Marie Osmond, because your husband represents Marie Osmond, which is just like, you cannot make this stuff up.
But we didn't even know that.
We didn't even know that.
We didn't even know that.
And so, she tells me all the time, if people aren't talking about you, you're not doing anything great in life.
Yeah. Marie said that, Marie Osmond. Well, Marie Osmond, I have to say, is an amazing person. She's an amazing talent, but her person is what I'm in love with. Because no, seriously, because there's many singers and people out there that are wonderful talents, but Marie has that core of goodness. And I don't know her well, but it's just what you see of her. You can tell somebody's soul in a way of goodness. And I was sharing a funny story to you about Donnie.
Yes.
Should I tell them that?
Of course, we should share that.
So when I was a young girl, Donnie Osmond, of course, was my idol, and I was in love with him, of course. And back then, it was the 45, the record 45 things, and so I would just play it over.
Okay, for those of you who don't know what a 45 is, it's like an 8-track.
Yeah, it's just a little round. Yeah, and it's like one song is on it, and at that time is. There was so many different songs that he had and everything, but Life is What You Make of It is the song that I used to play over and over. And I would literally walk around my parents' table here, those big round tables. Life is just what you make it. And still, here I am in my late 50s, and I still sing that song. I still sing that song because it gives me a little strength of life is what you make of it. We all have choices. It's just our choice to do the positive road or the negative road.
So the whole purpose of this is we don't want to give away everything we're going to be talking about over the next episodes that we're going to be sharing, but the purpose of this is so that you can get an intro or a feel of what we're doing, and we would love your feedback. What is it you want to hear? What have you experienced? How have you taken diversity in your own life and turned it into an asset, or opposition and turned it into an asset? I think that's what this is all about.
Well, it is, because I always call it front stage and backstage.
Yes.
My dance teacher, I loved her. I mean, she lived till 103. And when she was 90, she was retiring. And I'm like, oh my God, how could she possibly be retired? And, but what I've learned from her is there always is a front stage and backstage. If your shoe falls off while you're dancing, just keep on dancing. But what I always say what front stage and backstage means is in life, everybody sees you on stage. They see you're happy and you're this and you're that, but they don't see the backstage. And the backstage is turmoil. People go through divorce. I've been through divorce, death. I've been through a lot of different people in my life that I loved that passed away. So, but it's how we can help maybe others of how to handle bad experiences or what have you in your life.
And that is such a great point, because I like how you call it front stage and backstage. I call it turning the light on and turning the light off.
Okay.
Because when I do public speaking all over the world, that light switch has to be on.
Yeah.
Or when I'm on Instagram Live, that light switch is always on.
Even when you're feeling down.
Even when you're feeling down. And so when I stay with different families, when I travel, they're often like, are you having a bad day? Because we did not, you're not like perky, this, that. And I'm like, no, I'm just recharging because I need to sit back.
Yeah.
I need to take my shoes off.
Exactly.
And just be quiet.
Just be. Well, the thing is even myself, everyone says, oh my God, you're always so happy. You're so this all the time. But it's not true. I mean, we all struggle with different things in life, and you wake up sometimes sad or unhappy about something. But every morning, my ticket is I always turn on music. I always start the music as soon as I wake up. I make my bed is the second thing I do in life. But the first thing I do is I turn on the music, and it's like the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah. The best, best era.
That's what I love to hear. But that is what kind of gets me going in the morning and gets me into more of a positive spirit.
And our chemistry is amazing.
Well, we
together.
have good, we do have great chemistry. We always have.
We're going to tell you some fun stories about us going on a Ferris wheel and how she overcame her fear of that, and then we got kicked off.
It was his fault, though.
It was my fault.
It was your fault.
So you really have to stay tuned, because this is going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. And if we can help you in any way, sharing stories, and you share your stories, if there's anything that we can do to make your life a little easier and positive, we would love to help you.
Absolutely. And before we go, I just want to say my friend Cathy Gibson is the author of these children's books, and there's so many And we'll put a link in the description, but one of my favorites is Sophie.
Well, Sophie is this one here is the
that
very first one.
The very
That's the
first one.
second Sophie.
Okay, the second Sophie. Sophie
but
2.
it's interesting. But I was actually the dance teacher at the School for the Deaf. But they teach you the fingerspell alphabet, and then this one here teaches the fingerspell signing down the side of the page. But that one that you just had, see, this is a sign for I love you, but that's the sign for love. So love is when your hands are in front of you like this.
Oh, yeah.
And then the 3 fingers here. You've done, that.
So it's I love you.
Or pointing inward, I love you. But also, the different books you'll find out more about, we can talk about in the next segment or something. But each book, in a strange way, it's not like I have children that have disabilities or anything, but I was always drawn to children with disabilities, of trying to make their lives a little easier. But the books definitely all, talk about bullying and overcoming obstacles. And this one here, Gracie Saves the Day, about a girl who wants to be a baseball player but is teased for, in their eyes, looking and acting like a boy. But it's all about staying true to yourself and following your own dreams. And don't ever let anybody talk you out of your dream.
Absolutely. We were just talking about how hard YouTube was, and I said, you know how many times I wanted to give up? I was like, oh heavens, I can't do this.
I know.
And now look where it's got. It created a whole platform of friends, because I don't consider you followers, I consider all of you friends. Even though I may not know you that follow us or me on social media, they're all friends.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And so do you want to just cut back to tell them we'll see them soon?
Yeah,
we could keep talking, but
no filters, nothing. We are just keeping it
I had
real.
to keep him on task.
Exactly. Somebody has to.
Somebody has to keep you on task, because we could talk all night.
Yes, we could. So again, I'm Dennis Schleicher, and you are
Cathy Gibson.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
I love this.
Yes.
And this behind the scenes stuff is even fun too. So it's...
Well, I didn't know if we were supposed to cut yet or not, but I just figured it's probably time.
Yeah,
right?
it's probably time, because we said we'd keep it at 15 minutes. So
yeah, how far are we now?
Let's see. 14.
Oh wow.
Isn't that? It's organic.
That is.
It's
that
organic.
is. It is.
It was meant.
Yeah, so it was really good.
Yeah.
I loved it. But you know what it is? It's very easy for us.
It is.
To communicate. And I think if we always talk from the heart, that's where that's the only place I can go. Yeah. And if we don't talk from the heart, we're not going to get the message that we're truly wanting to get across to everybody.
And what I notice is when I get nervous, it's because it's an important message that needs to be shared.
Well, you've had some trials. Yeah. I mean, you've had some really tough times. And the thing is it's interesting, because I've known you for so long, but yet, and I've known, we've lived in the same towns. Yeah. And so your story of being bullied, it was just horrifying, the story of what happened to you. And, I don't know if you want to share any of that, but
we can talk about it, because in my book that I did with the church, Is He Nuts, I had to write about it, and it's very therapeutic to get it out.
It is. Yeah. Well, I do believe that anytime anybody has any sort of struggles in their life, they should always write it down. I know myself, usually if somebody has hit my heart as far as when they pass away, and like I remember her name was Mrs. Caruso. She was our childhood neighbor, and she used to make cakes. Yeah. And we used to jump the fence, go over Mrs. Caruso's, and she actually had foster children there too, so there was more children there of our age. Her other children were older than us. Anyways, with this story, we used to go over there all the time and spend time with her. But Mrs. Caruso, when she passed away, I didn't see her for decades. Yeah. But it just went, oh. And literally, I was crying I can't even tell you. Yeah. And I just got a pen out and just, it was 5-page note. I folded it up. I went to the funeral. I handed it to her daughter. I'm like, I don't know what it says, It's all scribble, but it's coming from my heart.
Yeah.
I loved your mom dearly, but I have to say, after I wrote that, I was okay. I felt release, you know, and I think right now, my dad just passed recently, and, you know, we all find ways of figuring out what makes us feel better.
Yeah.
But with my sister, I know she's affected greatly. And so she's been writing a lot too, and it's very therapeutic for her.
And I love keeping a journal.
Journal is great, and I always tell people to always keep a pad beside their bed and just keep writing, because you know, writing is a magic pen, I call it, because it solves a lot of things, and even like your daily tasks, because I always, every morning, even though I have a calendar, I have a piece of paper and I write Wednesday.
Yes, yes.
Number one. 9 o'clock, dump.
Yeah.
11 o'clock, this, you know, and I write it all down, and then I'll have all the other like calls I have to make or things to do. But when you write it all down on paper, it comes out of your brain, and because a lot of times people can't sleep, and I always found when like my family would say, oh, I can't sleep, I was thinking about this and that, I'm like, write it on a piece of paper and then go to bed, because with that, it's out of your head, it's out of a piece of paper, so you're not going to forget in the morning, so don't worry about it. You know, so keeping a journal, writing things down, but it always, if any kind of sadness in your world, you should always write something. Whether it's a poem or just writing to that person how much you love them. And I'm telling you, it's very therapeutic. It always has helped me.
I just, yesterday when Debbie said, you know, you really need to connect with Cathy, I was like, I haven't spoken to her in years. And I just called you on the highway, and I was like...
And I picked up the phone, I'm like, hey!
I was like, oh my goodness.
It was like yesterday.
It's like, and then here we are.
But that's true friendships, I have to tell you, because I have friends, when I was in kindergarten, I was in kindergarten and first grade, and when my dad passed, those are the people. Debbie Mallon, you know who you are. I always call her by her childhood name. I don't even go through married names. But somebody like her, she doesn't realize what she did for me that day. She flew in from Florida to be here. My cousin that I haven't seen in decades flew in from Alabama. We had people come in from all over. But, you know, you think because your parent is older, not many people are going to show up, or, you know. And I'm just telling you.
The same happened for me when my brother passed in 2004. My best friend from high school, Eileen, she was living in Philadelphia with her husband, and he's an architect, and they just had their third baby, and she literally just gave birth 3 weeks before.
Oh, wow. And
she said to her husband, I have to get in the car and go. I got to be there for Dennis. And I hadn't seen her in years.
Well, that's a true friendship. And you know what? We all have friends, everyday friends, but your real friends are really kind of, a lot of them are from your childhood. I mean, I definitely have met some along the way that I consider very close to me. But I have to say, if you can pick up a phone after a couple of years and just talk to somebody like it was yesterday, then you know that's a real friend for you, because, you know.
I agree. This is special. We've had some fun times, and we've had some sad times, and we've done a lot of traveling and walking.
Well, we did a lot of the, you know, book signings together. That was always fun, and you know, it's all good. You know, life is definitely a journey, and it's hills and valleys, and you know, but everybody goes through those hills and valleys. Nobody really escapes from anything like that, and. I always, just like I said, I always call it, you know, front stage, backstage, because it's really, until somebody really knows you, then they come backstage and they really know who you are. But on stage, you know, we all have to, I mean, when you're a teacher, a doctor, something could have happened in your day earlier, but you got to put that face on, because your patient or your children in your classroom don't want to see you crying or sad or whatever. So even teachers or whoever that person is, like I said, doctors,
Front page, yeah.
anything.
On
People
stage,
need
off
to,
stage,
people just can't be, everybody go through struggles, but you can't like share all your struggles that day. Hey, this is what happened today. That's why I'm like not happy. You know, you can't. You just gotta pull it together and whatever that is to pull yourself together.
And you and I have been backstage a lot for concerts, and you see a whole different
side of things.
It's just, especially before the concert, it's just everyone's kind of just
revved up.
Yeah, or like in some cases I've seen it where they're just taking their quiet time because they need to get they need to
be out there to perform and stuff.
Yeah.
But whether it's a concert or whether it's everyday life, you know, really, I mean, when people start their day at work, everyday work, whatever that may be, that you know, you can't share everything always, or express what happened in your day or whatever, because you need to be there to start your day with whatever career you have going.
This is going to be a great show.
Yeah, I think so.
It really is. It's gonna, I think, affect and help a lot of people.
I do too.
Yeah.
And it's from different backgrounds too.
Yeah.
I mean, we both have different backgrounds, but we're very much the same.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's, hey, you cut us open, we all bleed red.
Exactly.
And that's...
Not that we want to.
No, not at all. Well, I guess I should stop recording.
Yeah, but that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
That could be another segment.
It
or
could
behind the scenes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was really good pieces.
Yeah.
There were topics, again,